Cause when I ask, do you have a man? She try to pretend. She says, no, I don't. I only have a friend. Come on. Everybody sing along with me now. Come on. You got what I need. But you say he just a friend. And you say he just a friend. Oh, baby,
It is just 1 week to go until the opening of Bonnaroo 2023. Welcome to Storytime at the Rubus, a weekly podcast about the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival. I'm your host, Charla.
And I'm Daniel. Charla, how are you feeling? Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready. How about you?
I think I am. I am simultaneously both ready to get there, and I am also totally not ready. Just in terms of, like, mentally. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like this week my brain has been absolutely on fire.
Yeah, we're trying to wrap up work. We're trying to make sure that we got everything for our camping group. We're wrapping up some of the final details for our events. I mean, literally, we could leave tomorrow and we'd be okay. I don't think we're ever going to fully be ready.
Oh, no.
I hope you are all out there getting your RuPaul's organized, getting everything ready to go. It's a good time to be double checking your car. Make sure that your oil is changed. Make sure that your tires are good. Make sure that you got a spare. Evan on our Discord was talking about today. He was checking his car over and he found a nail. So now is a good time to be checking all that, especially if you're going to be coming a long way, kind of like he is.
Exactly.
What are some of your other tips for this point, now that we're almost out the door?
If you have not already, start drinking water every single day. Start hydrating yourself now. Start freezing your water bottles. If you're going to use your water bottles for ice in your cooler, start freezing those now.
I better do that here in a day or two. I've got a bunch that are in the cooler out in the bus just for storage. I'll put them up in our freezer and start getting that ready.
Start doing that.
You know, take some last walks this coming weekend. Don't slack off now that we're under a week to go. Get yourself used to it. If you're in an area where it's going to be hot over the next couple of days, it'll suck, but go ahead and take a long walk out in that heat so you can start getting used to it.
Right. You know, the weather can change at any moment, but it does look like it's going to be at least cooler than last year. So that's going to be good.
At least a little bit of an improvement. It's still too early. By the time you're listening to this, it might be just about the time to check the Weather Channel or AccuWeather or maybe the local forecast if you're in the area. But as of right now, it looks like it's going to be in the low to mid 80s on average. And there's going to be scattered storms. When you see these forecasts, you're going to see that it says like, 50% chance of storms. Don't be scared by that. This is not going to be a 2021 situation.
No.
Nowhere near close to that. That's just normal for this part of the country for this time of the year.
Right. So I've lived in this area my entire life. Pop-up thunderstorms or even pop-up showers, that does not mean nearly what you think it means.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll come a little rainstorm in the morning or in the afternoon, and it'll pass. It'll be fine.
Yeah, today is the 7th, and I looked at the forecast for our local area this morning, and it said 50% chance of storms. Nothing happened. There were some pop-up storms maybe an hour from here. Nothing happened here. That just means that there's a 50% chance of somewhere in the area, not specifically where you are, right?
Right.
So don't stress about that.
I think maybe yesterday it rained for 30 minutes and then it went away and
yeah, it was weird.
It was fine.
It was no big deal. And as dry as it has been around here, if it's going to be those pop-up storms where it's just for a half hour, it's not going to make for a mud situation, even in areas where there's going to be high foot traffic.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah, sure.
This area statistically gets more rain than the Seattle area, that.
Is that true?
General area. I've heard that.
Oh, you heard that? Okay. You read that on a Facebook post.
No, I did not. Someone told me that.
Okay.
Someone told me that. We do have a National Weather Center, whatever, here.
Yeah.
At the university.
Oh, the one that you work at, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the information that we have been getting. We're going to jump to our interview with Miss Kelsey from the Bonnaroo Works Fund here in just a little bit, and we have an announcement of how much money we have raised for them. We'll talk about that after we talk with her in that interview here in just a bit. But we got a couple of things that we want to talk about at the top of the show since we're so close now. Did you see that graphic that Bonnaroo published today about the traffic wait times?
Yes, that was great.
Yeah, so there were 4 different graphics that they published for kind of the entry days, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Tuesday, they anticipate that the longest wait time is going to be first thing at 8 a.m. in the morning. There will be a lot of people that are, really trying to get in the door because they want to get a parking spot close to the arch,
Close to the arch, yes.
Yeah, that's the big reason that there will be long wait times first thing in the morning. So if you're not worried about getting right there in front of the arch, kind of like what we were talking about with the monkey bar last year.
So if you don't want to make love to the arch?
I wasn't thinking about that. But if you're not worried about that, you can wait until about like 10, 11, 12. There won't be that long of a wait time. In fact, there's not going to be that long of a wait time at any point on Tuesday, aside from first thing, right?
Yeah, it looks like if you actually look at that Tuesday graphic, it actually looks like about noon on Tuesday. It drops off significantly around there.
That's when we're rolling in, so I'm counting on that, hopefully, yeah. So Wednesday is going to be tricky. There's a couple of times that they're forecasting that will be a little tough. So, again, first thing in the morning around 8, 9 a.m., it'll be a little tough. And then from 1 to 3 or maybe 4 o'clock, it's going to be longer wait times. And then again, from 6 to 10, that's going to be a little tough. But the areas that they say will be average wait times on Wednesday are from around 10 to 1, and then from 4 to 6, and then after 10 p.m., it looks like, according to this graphic.
Right. Wednesday looks pretty heavy right there.
Well, every day is going to be heavy.
If you notice on these graphics, though, there's no side lines.
Yeah, we don't really know what those numbers mean.
Yeah, we don't really know what the numbers mean.
It just means more traffic, I suppose.
Yeah.
Thursday, most of that day is going to be pretty packed, but according to them, the prime time to come in on Thursday is going to be from around 3 to 6 p.m., which actually checks. Back in the day, that would be the day that we would come in, like years and years ago, and we never had that much of an issue coming in at pretty specifically that time on Thursday afternoon. Friday, the only heavy time is going to be from 2 to 9 p.m. If you come before 2 p.m. on Friday, which you should because there's going to be a lot of fun stuff on Friday, you're going to be okay. So again, Tuesday looks like it isn't going to be that bad if you come after about 9 or 10 a.m. Wednesday won't be so bad, but I would shoot from around 10 to 1. And if you're coming in on Thursday, I would shoot from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay.
That's kind of the cliff notes, right?
Yes.
Now, a lot of people ask today, where are they getting that data, right? Do you think you know? I mean, I have a couple of guesses.
I have some guesses, but you go ahead.
Me go first? Okay, I'll go first. So they do collect a lot of data when they scan everyone in. So I think they may be using that as one point of data.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so last year, we had half the crowd that we're going to have this year, but you can still compare the numbers a little bit. And they may be looking at data from like previous years, from like 2018, 2019. But also, I can tell you that Bonnaroo is working closely with the city, county, and state about the traffic patterns. So they probably have something from them that we don't know about that's helping guide this as well. Now, what are your guesses?
Sure, all that.
Sure, all that.
I'm so stupid.
What were you going to say?
A clicker guy.
A clicker guy? Oh, there's a guy at the gate with his like, all right, I got one car, 2 car, 3 car. He's like, all right, we had at least a dozen cars come to Bonnaroo this year. There's a clicker guy. That's your guess.
Yeah, everything you said is
Okay.
everything you said is obviously correct.
Oh my gosh. No, there's probably other stuff that we're not even guessing.
That's why you have a better career than I do.
No, that's not true. You got a cool job. You work at the university.
Okay, for real though, something that everyone needs to do is register your wristband if you have not already done so.
We have not done so yet.
No, we have not done so.
We need to do that.
You can do that at any time. We had a friend once that hadn't done it, and he literally done it when he was waiting in line.
Oh, was that Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the closer and closer you get into the farm, the less and less cell service that you're going to have. So go ahead and do it now.
Yeah, it is at Bonnaroo.com/wristband. There's a big yellow button. You can go through that. And they have a couple of promotions like they do every year. So what you'll do, there will be an kind of an ID number on the back of your wristband. You'll punch that in, and then what you'll also do is put in some emergency contact information. So if anything happens, and it probably won't, but if anything were to happen, they would have a contact for you.
So their promotion this year is you can activate cashless with PayPal or Venmo.
Oh, either way.
And you can get a $10 Bonnaroo credit applied to your wristband. And I've done this before, and you can buy, that's a spicy pie or that's a beer or whatever. So I recommend doing that.
Yeah, and do it quick because one of the small print things on this is it's limited to the first 7,500 people for PayPal and 5,000 people on Venmo.
I didn't notice that. I did not see that.
So
okay.
Maybe we need to go ahead and do that. Yeah.
That is a good tip right there.
Credit expires at 10 o'clock on the 18th. Wait, it says please allow for delays. What does that mean? Anyways, check that out for yourself. It's at Bonnaroo.com/wristband. There's some terms and stuff on that. Some of that legal mumbo
It
jumbo.
says it expires on the 18th because that's when Bonnaroo ends, baby.
Oh, okay. Well, I was wondering what this means where it says please allow for delays.
I don't know.
Whatever. Go read up on that. Do your homework. Another thing that I wanted to talk about before we jump to that interview with Miss Kelsey is a lot of people are new or haven't been around a long time and have been asking me online, where do I find the bus? We're going to talk a lot more about this on a small episode that we're going to do before we get out the door on Monday. But you can find the bus at group camping.
And group camping is Plaza 5 Space Cadet Camp.
Yeah, and I think hopefully by the time you're hearing this, there should hopefully be a map out. I'm not entirely sure, but we're getting pretty close. So I would think that we're going to get that in the coming days, right?
Yes. I mean, if you look on the website, Bonnaroo.com/campground-plazas, you can kind of see, where the general gist of it is.
Yeah. And the app came out today as we're recording this. It's still pointing to the previous edition of the full Centeroo and Outeroo map. Mm-hmm. But I believe, hopefully, they're going to have that updated in the coming days. I mean, we're getting pretty darn close, so it's got to be coming, right?
Yeah.
So we shall see. We have much more to talk about in a bit with the announcement of the specific total for our donation to the Bonnaroo Works Fund. But for now, we're going to go talk about that with Miss Kelsey. Hey everyone, I am here with Kelsey with the Bonnaroo Works Fund. How's it going this evening?
I am doing A-okay. Thank you for asking.
So we'll get into the Works Fund here in just a moment, but I wanted to hear about you. Could you tell us a little bit about your history with Bonnaroo and kind of like what you're up to in the Nashville area?
Yeah. So I've known of the festival since year one. I was too young to go to the original, but both of my older brothers did go and heard all about the exciting tales of an early camping festival. And then growing up in Ohio, it wasn't super close, but I ended up going to Belmont here in Nashville. So got very familiar during my college days and went a couple times then. Ended up in LA for a few years, but upon returning to Nashville, I haven't missed one since. So going pretty steady since 2014, whether it be going as a patron and a fan, or I actually got to work with the festival on the promotion side when I was running Do 615 back in the to like 2015 era, and getting to work with the organization closely kind of lend itself well. Where when this opportunity came about, I had been already close to a lot of the people within the farm family. They've heard my need to want music to matter more. And I was kind of on a soapbox one night just talking about how music's my passion, it's what I'm good at, but I always know that the platform can do more in the way that it touches people emotionally, and just the way that artists and festivals as a whole can really engage and inspire people. And then, as luck would have it, this amazing opportunity to be the executive director came up shortly thereafter, and the rest is history. Kind of started as just the grant making side on the Bonnaroo Works Fund side, and it's just evolved, which we can get into down the road. But grateful to kind of start as a fan, fell in love with it for just its good energy and its good vibes, and then have a really special and unique opportunity to not only get to work with the festival, but to help other nonprofits in the process.
I have heard that same story from so many people that they came to Bonnaroo one year and they just got so involved that they end up working for it in some aspect. Like I can think of like 5 or 6 people off the top of my head. That's so cool. I didn't realize that you were doing the Do 615 thing. That's basically a digital version of like the life section of the newspaper, right?
Yeah. So it's part of a series or a network of, main hubs for entertainment in major cities. So, all of them based around area codes, and basically a website for people to go and see what's going on in their city each night, kind of powered by popularity, and getting to promote a lot of cool things, work with cool brands and bands. And it was a great opportunity to again, reinvigorate myself in Nashville as I was coming back and ready to explore the music scene again. It was perfect for that.
Well, I'm glad that was one rung on the ladder to get you in your position at Rue. That probably prepared you very well. So you've been doing the Works Fund for how many years now?
I was officially hired in 2018, and then we took over Planet Rue in 2020. So we've had a couple rough years from 2020 to 2021. Yeah. But, it's been a fun ride.
You guys did a lot a couple of years ago with the virtual Roo that they held that fall because we couldn't be there. I remember a lot of things were benefiting everything that you were doing. Were you able to still raise a lot of funds like in those off years, or was it kind of tough for you like it was for everyone?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely challenging. And since the majority of our funds are raised by ticket sales and tickets weren't really a part of that equation,
Yeah.
it was really just relying on people's graciousness and their generosity. So, we had some creative integrations with supporting nonprofit venues that Bacardi was a part of. We supported the Coffee County Humane Society with Tito's, and they're so big on pets and dogs. And then we were able to support the ACLU Foundation on the education side, and work with some local smaller organizations and individual donations as well. But for the most part, it was a different opportunity to try and support and build awareness when we know everybody was going through a rough time and a lot of unknowns with their budget. So anything that we were able to generate was just a big blessing because we know things were tight at that time.
Yeah, that was a really great presentation. That was like Jeff Kular. That was one of the last big things that he put on before he went to other greener pastures, or maybe different colored pastures. We'll put it that way. I did want to talk a little bit about the Works Fund itself. Can you tell me, like, how is it related to Bonnaroo? Are you able to act independently? Is it considered like an independent arm of Bonnaroo?
Yeah, so it was born out of the festival. Truly, from day one, there was some kind of initiative from the founders that they knew, like, we're coming into this really unique situation where Manchester and Coffee County is a really special place. We want to make sure that we respect it as we come in and do this event. So early on, there was always give back incentives and really just a culture building from day one of, again, radiate positivity is part of the ethos, and good vibes and giving back and contributing locally is a big part of that. So that kind of evolved to kind of donor advised giving and grant making, to a formal 501c3, and then has, that's still where the majority of our focus is in terms of how we financially support nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
So it's $2 from every ticket goes to grant making, and then $1 from every ticket goes to sustainability and greening initiatives. And then we have some other fundraisers that primarily support the grant making that we do in areas of arts, education, sustainability, social impact, all of those values that align with Bonnaroo from the beginning.
Okay.
And yeah, we just get a great opportunity to get to not only support nonprofits financially where we can with grants and donations, but also to engage them in our programming at the festival so that they're introduced and exposed to the patrons that are there to, they might be coming for the music, but hopefully they leave inspired to go back to their communities and do good things.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. So tell me this, like when those grants are made, like, can you give us a couple of examples of like some of the projects that have come about because of it?
Oh man, I mean, it's such a wide range. Just in the last couple of years, we've given out over 300,000 in grants in a variety of organizations. It's everything. So early on, there was some infrastructure investments, like we helped with the Manchester skate park. We do solar installs in a variety of places. We do tree plantings. That's kind of on the sustainability side. And then in terms of the grants, within education, it's everything from after school programs for like kids in the foster system and trying to set them up for the best success as they're kind of being moved out of the system or aged out of the system, where they no longer are considered juveniles, but they want to be provided career opportunities so that they can go get jobs after they age out of the system. Examples being not Notes for Notes, which helps youths get in studio experience and try and engage in arts in a big and powerful way, to keep them occupied after school and not have to worry about going back to a place that they might not feel safe, and have that safe place at the studio. So yeah, a variety of after school programs, education programs. Like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Imagination Library, but that's Dolly Parton's nonprofit where they provide books free of charge up to the age of 5. And that is a great one where we get to work with a variety of counties, not just within Davidson, but within Bedford and Coffee County and in the surrounding counties around Manchester. So again, we give an average of probably 20 to 30 grants, 20 to 40 grants each year. So keeping track of all of those over the decade plus that we've been given grants formally is tough to do, but we're just so grateful to have that opportunity to reinvest in the community where we can.
That's amazing, Kelsey. Yeah, that is like even more than I had originally realized that you guys were doing. That's mind blowing. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't take all the credit. I didn't build it. I'm just here to carry the torch and continue relaying the great work that the festival established from day one. And we are gaining some independence in our goals to try and this was kind of our goal when we did start doing more of the impact programming. Is we don't want to just be like, hey, we'll see you in June, collect the money, distribute the money, see you next June. We want to be, a community partner year round of either engaging patrons in volunteer opportunities or trying to continue the kind of impact programming and education that we have in Planet Roo digitally. So it's all these things that we've got these grandiose ideas, but 2 cancellations and a global pandemic didn't make easy. So we're excited to kind of replenish our budgets and our get back to a more robust state to really strategically align with some of our partners in the area.
Well, I know you're being modest by saying that you didn't start all of this, but doing all of that and spinning all of those plates is a big accomplishment, especially during the midst of various plagues like, I don't know, pandemics, hurricanes. So I think you do have a lot to be proud of, Kelsey.
I know I don't want to check the natural disaster bingo card anymore.
Rivers of blood. I don't know, whatever it may be next time. Hey, you mentioned Planet Roo. I think it's something that a lot of Bonnaroovians at the very least pass through, but maybe they don't know everything that you do there. Can you explain a little bit about what the Works Fund does with Planet Roo and what people should come check out when they're there next week?
Yeah, absolutely. So Planet Roo is kind of our epicenter of positive impact. So we've got, similar to all the stages, the what stage, the which stage, this, that, and the other. Our stage is called the how stage because it's really a bunch of programming demonstrating how to make an impact, how to live a healthier, sustainable life, and how to, go back to your community and do good things. So, from panels on environmental factors to social justice to, the importance of knowing your reps and registering to vote and voter education in general, knowing what's happening in your area, noting the importance of the arts and how they impact positively. And then, unfortunately, one of the bigger ones that's grown over the last couple of years is the importance of talking about mental health. Everyone's coming out of the pandemic in a different way. And, I think the good news of that is that it did kind of bring to light how common mental health issues are and that everybody's going through something. So we've got a variety of kind of stop the stigma type opportunities that kind of tie in a creative musical performance to these important conversations. So on Thursday, we've got a panel and performance conversation with David's Den that's going to kind of talk about the more serious side of stopping the stigma and how they engage artists and provide mental health services, and kind of culminating to a Stop the Stigma Super Jam that Sunday night that will have a variety of exciting to be or maybe not to be announced artists that are going to be to again, those that are there to demonstrate that we all are going through something. There shouldn't be a stigma around mental health because every single person has some kind of issue that they would prefer to be able to share freely without having to worry about a stigma. So Sunday being more of a celebration in we're all crazy, we're all struggling through it, so let's support each other and be there for each other. And music is obviously a great way to do that. So the house stage is its own area of panels, performances, and classes. The Academy and Learning Garden is smack dab in the middle of Planet Roo. That's our hay bale hut or hobbit hut or post office for those that may be older. It's more hands-on, intimate workshops, most of which are provided programming by the nonprofits within our nonprofit village. And the nonprofit village is a big staple of that area as well. So we have a variety of nonprofits that get to come in and table at no cost. We provide the space for free. And it's just a great opportunity for patrons to get to engage with them, one-on-one and learn about what they do a little activity, try to be a little Bonnaroo with the activity and not just be filling out petitions or signing their name to something.
Mm-hmm.
We want it to be an educational platform for them to intimately get to know the organization. We also have our RooWorks HQ where we have our silent auction. Basically, it grows throughout the weekend. We get a variety of items signed by artists performing, and that's a big fundraiser. We do our RooWorks Cafe, which is next to the coffee shop, next to the fountain. That is kind of smaller, more acoustic performances from nonprofits like Pitch Music and Musicians on Call. So that's kind of the Planet Roo area. And the Bonnaroo's dinners, which are a benefit for E for Equity and Oxfam. They're these really beautiful artisanal farm to table dinners that not only provide education about local farmers, but raise money to support kind of the beauty of community dining and how that can impact people's lives, as well as the beauty of farm to table experiences and supporting local from a sustainability standpoint, as well as just supporting local as an effort, as an initiative.
Mm-hmm. Kelsey, you mentioned about the mental health support and these nonprofits. I'm a little biased because we know them, but I am very happy that you guys have found a home for the parachute people in the last year. They have been big advocates of these conversations about mental health, and they have been a staple of Bonnaroo for years with the Roo Shoot. I'm so happy that they have had workshops and that little booth over there in Planet Roo. I encourage everybody to go visit them again this year. I love them to death.
Yeah, no, they since they became a formal 501c3 as well, they've just been crushing it. Obviously their mental health programming and their kind of building community through play mantra is such an important staple in general, but it's just such a part of the ethos of Bonnaroo, since it kind of was born out of Bonnaroo.
Absolutely,
so, their parachute activations are so great for building that community, but they're doing a variety of programming, and even an origin story type panel on Thursday. And then their playground is kind of that type of hands-on opportunity. The playground is their booth where, it's sensory play. It's where if you need to take a break, it's colorful, it's vibrant, but it's also a safe place if you just need to, play with something and get distracted and have a safe place to go. So
distracted at Bonnaroo, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, not that there's too much going on or anything.
There was one other piece of Planet Roo that I wanted to ask you about. You have that really cool silent auction area where you have like instruments that have been signed and stuff like that. Have you found out about what kind of pieces that you might have in there this year?
We always that's always an ever evolving rotation of cool equipment. We don't like to dictate what that's going to be. We like to work with the artists and say, here's what we know goes over well, but we don't want to mandate this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
Because that's when we get some really fun nuggets of we've gotten some skateboards signed by artists, or last year Mark Ribole signed a inflatable flamingo that went for a lot.
Yeah, he had a flamingo song that he made up. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we want it to be kind of a organic thing for the artist. We will bring guitars and drum heads or gear pedals or stuff if we have them and the artist just isn't able to offer it. But oftentimes it's something specific from their set, like their set list, or the sticker from their dressing room, or a poster that we bring to them. So we keep it loose. Because we want to leave it open to the uniqueness of the artist. Example, you've got an artist on the lineup that has played a professional sport, and maybe there's something unique to him that
interesting. A very tall guy, I think.
Yeah, a very tall guy that's playing a very late night set. But yeah, we've got some items confirmed from him. Nice. And so again, it's just we wanted to keep it exciting and interesting. So it will be growing throughout the weekend if you do stop by the RooWorks HQ, but then we're going to be heavily promoting it digitally after the fest as well. So you'll get an opportunity to see all the items that were collected after the fest.
I love that. That's amazing. All right. So Kelsey, I got one last big question for you. Like, you've gotten through these plagues that we've talked about. We're going to have an almost sold out Bonnaroo this year. Probably will be sold out by the time we get there. What is a big goal that you would like to have the Works Fund accomplish in the future? Like, what would be a grand slam for you?
Ooh, that is a great question. You're asking me at a really unique time, since I'm in that vulnerable, I'm so busy, it's insane kind of mode. We've evolved so much. We also oversee the Roo Run 5K now, and sustainability as a whole. So, as we've evolved to take on so many other things, my current goal is just to make that all of a smooth operation, and to get through a year without too many new surprises. But on a more realistic, grandiose, inspirational level, it really is to kind of roll out that opportunity to be a year-round partner to the community and to engage Bonnaroovians in more ways than just physically on the farm. We really do want to expand the Bonnaroo message of, radiate positivity might be the tagline of the festival, but for us, it's radiate compassion. And we want people to be inspired. You came for the music, you had a really special moment, but something about what we offered on the farm clicked with you, and maybe you want to help us do events in your area or get involved with us in a different way, so you can kind of be our satellite opportunities in the communities where you live. But like I said, it's a goal that I don't think is that unrealistic. It's just doing it in the right way, and not just trying to roll it out for the sake of rolling it out, but doing it intentionally so that it has legs to walk on for a long time.
Well, I think getting all the Bonnaroovians involved is a very good goal. And I think the last thing that I wanted to put out there for you that we have for everyone, we have gotten a lot of our Patreons involved through our podcast and doing like the donations that we've been taking in over the last year. And I'm happy to announce it looks like we're going to have just in the neighborhood of about $1,800 to donate to the Works Fund this year through all of our patrons. We'll know the exact figure here shortly. I think we'll put it on this same episode. We've even had a couple of people that have offered to, fill in the gaps and get it to around $2,000, or excuse me, yeah, $2,000.
We are
more about that.
Grateful. No, I mean, we're so grateful for Rubus in general. Obviously, you guys are doing incredible things for the festival, and just kind of creating that community from the patron perspective, and the way that you're able to rally your troops on our behalf is just so wonderful, and we're super grateful for the Patreon contributing in any way. Any dollar amount is helpful. It just means that we can help more nonprofits and provide better programming. So we're super grateful for you guys and all of the community members that you engage with.
Well, no, thank you, Kelsey. I know it's a lot of fun and rewarding work, but it's still hard work. So we're all very thankful for all the work that you put in for the Works Fund and Planet Roo and everything. And I think I speak for all our Patreons where we just say thank you. Please keep up the amazing work. We love you guys to death. And like we've been talking about, there's a lot of cool stuff at Planet Roo. Please go visit them next week. Kelsey, you'll be around there quite a bit when you're not going to your own shows, right?
I will be a blur, but yes, we'll be around that area. We've got one big thing that I think could be interesting for your people as well. Of not only is our auction powered by a great company called Propeller, but we're doing kind of a Bonnaroo scavenger hunt type thing where you can earn entries and earn points by visiting the nonprofit booths or going to a house stage panel or turning in a bag of recycling for the Rock and Recycle program, which will also earn you prizes and t-shirts and a bunch of cool stuff. So check that should be going out here in the next few days. The auction is live, but that will be a kind of part of my whirlwind blur, is me running around to a bunch of different places so that people can win these really cool experiences on site or win VIP tickets to next year. Excuse me.
Awesome. That's amazing. And if anybody had missed our Patreon, you can always donate to the Works Fund. You guys are at BonnarooWorksFund.org, and there's a big donate button in the top right corner. Can people still donate through the Propeller? I think there was some little gifts if people donate on there, right?
Yeah, so the Rubrics royalty package is what we did pre-fest, so that always comes out usually like April or February, March-ish. And so that winner has been drawn. They've got VIP tickets and a luxury bell tent. So that's the pre-fest opportunity. What we love about Propeller is that you can earn entries by doing actions and not just donating. So the donations help, but it's also taking action on behalf of nonprofits. And so that campaign has wrapped, but then all of the on-site stuff and the scavenger hunt stuff is just starting. So for those that are going to be at the fest, you can stop by the Reworks HQ to find out more. The auction went out in the newsletter yesterday, and we should have the other details going out here shortly for the other pieces.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us this evening, Kelsey. I really appreciate you, not just for the time this evening, but for everything that you do for the Works Fund and for the whole Rue community. And please do me a favor. I know you're going to be a blur next week, but please go enjoy yourself. Go to some good shows and have some fun and cut up and be a little irresponsible while you're at it.
I love that idea. No, the fact that I got to Stevie Nicks last year and it was everything I dreamed and more is like, I gotta make time for that kind of magical Rue moment. Because that's why you're there. That's what you're there for, is just that unreal Rue feeling of being amongst beautiful people, celebrating great vibes and good music.
Good deal. Well, I hope to share that moment with you and about 80,000 other people here in just about a week. Should be a blast.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you giving us the time and the platform. The house stage and the Academy schedules are out on socials now. And we'll be out of this schedule, but yeah, we're excited to see y'all on the farm.
Awesome. See you there on the farm.
Have a good one, y'all.
Thank you, Kelsey. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. She is fantastic.
Yeah, she pretty much admitted that she would talk about that all day if you let her, which honestly makes it easy for me as an interviewer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of other guests, I'll try to cut up and have a full conversation, but I would just you know what? I'm going to let her go. This is good information.
Yes.
Exactly.
Makes it easy.
All right. So for the last time, before we unveil our total, let's call out our Patreons.
So this is the final time that we're calling the Patreons out for 2023.
Oh my gosh.
So we have to give a really, really, really big thank you to everyone for this year.
Yeah, y'all, seriously. We'll have the figure here in just a second, but you really pulled through this year. It's amazing.
Looks like we've even picked up some new ones since
We
last
did.
week, which is amazing.
Well, last week we mentioned this is your last chance. I think a couple of people took us up on that.
Which is great.
All right, Charlotte. So for the last time for this Rue season, let's go through everyone's names.
Okay. Thank you guys again so much. It looks like we've even picked up a few since last week.
Yeah, I think they took our call since we said this was your last chance.
Okay, you ready?
Let's go.
Bliss, Sarah Butler, Bold Thinker, Austin, Sarah Bia Hawk, Madeline Hodge, James Whitfield, Daria, Chelsea, a.k.a. Hygiene Queen.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's super awesome and helpful on our Discord.
Ryan Pascal, Rebecca, Chris Horner, Skylar, Daniel Raymer, Ernst Wellenweber,
A sharp dresser. I've seen his pictures.
Jordan Beachboard, Bill, Harris Williams, Brian Joseph, Keith Sears, Casey Arbuckle, Chloe Rose, Andrew Killo, Dave Uniball, Amanda Snyder, Aaron Lord, Nick Weglia,
We're trying, y'all, I promise.
Maddie McCracken, I can't see it, your mouse is in the way. Sean McCain, McFerg, Bruce Butler, Kent Summers, Michael Roberts, Randy C., Madison, I'm going to get it, Madison.
All right, let's go.
Well, Madison, Hudsesko, Scott Hurst, Greg B., Eric and Ben Abel, Natalie Gaucher, Beyond the Hypnotic.
That's Jace!
Evan Brown, Jay Sanders, Chloe Hannon, and Sean McCarthy.
All right. Thank y'all so much. And I'm sorry that I shouted Jay so loud. I just had to get that in one last time. That was, by the way, that was on account of Chloe. She made kind of a meme about that a couple of months ago. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I have to do this now. But y'all, thank you so much. Are you ready to unveil the total for this year for the Bonnaroo Works Fund?
Well, how are we going to say it, though?
Well, okay. Well, let's tell you this first. So after we got the 20% for the goodies that we're going to have for everyone as promised, so we will have a number of wristbands and a mimosa bar. You already know why. It came out to $1,850.
So within the past few months, you may have heard us say that our goal really was $2,000.
Yeah.
Really was
Two G's. Yeah. I wanted to get a good round number.
Right, exactly. So we have had someone come forward on Instagram, Audio Binge, and he has offered to fill in that gap for us. So he has donated the remaining funds for that. And it's really about the mission of the Works Fund.
Yeah, you just heard Kelsey talk about it.
Right. He said it's really about the mission, the true mission of the Works Fund. So he offered to fill in that gap for us. So we will be donating
2K.
2K to the Works Fund.
Yeah. So thank you again to all the Patreons that we just called out. And seriously, thank you to Audio Binge for getting us to that 2K that we've had a goal for. That is amazing. Thank you all so much.
Thank you to the Patreons.
Yeah, and I want to stress, as we have pointed out, Charlotte and I do not keep a cent of this. We put that 80% to the Works Fund, and we spend the rest of the 20% on all of y'all. So come see us. We're going to have a lot of wristbands for you. I think I'm going to put out a mimosa bar at the beginning of your trivia thing.
Cool, yeah.
That's at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And then I'm hopefully going to take a wagon over to Where in the Woods. And I still can't say it, but you know why. Y'all know what's going down over there. So you need to show up.
Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
Come early. You're going to come early to that.
Yeah.
Because we will be I can't say, but something very exciting is happening at the beginning.
Yeah. We do have one last thing to get for that reason.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Something very exciting, and it will make your heart.
Yeah. So we're going to do one thing before what you know is going to happen. I need you there, and I need you there to hype up the thing that is going to happen. Trust us, when you see what's happening, you will understand.
Y'all know about the thing that's going to happen, but the thing that's going to happen at the beginning of
you
that,
don't know about.
You don't know about it, and I need as many Bonnaroovians there as possible.
Yes, please, and we need you hyped up.
If you know about Bonnaroo at all, you do not want to miss this, and I need you as hyped up as possible. And your heart will absolutely melt and fall out, and you'll have to pick it back up and put it back in.
All right, let's leave it there because I'm afraid that we might spill something. But yes,
we won't.
We have a tremendous surprise in store, and we really would like you to be there. This will be a quick 5 or 10 minute thing before the main event. You already know what that's going to be. But again, you don't know what the first thing is going to be. We need you there. We need you making noise, please. If you ever wanted to thank us for something, be there for that.
Yes, it's a tradition that we started, that the bus started.
Yeah.
That the bus started last year, and we hope to keep it going.
Yeah, let's leave it there before we say too much, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's get over to our Reddit questions. I looked in your last thread.
Yes.
A lot of people were freaking out like, oh, this is the last FAQ until we're there. A lot of people didn't quite realize that. So I went through and got like the big questions and the big point of discussions for this past week. One of them that I found is a lot of people were asking about the box office because unfortunately there's going to be a good handful of people that will have to go there before they get in line.
Right.
So that is a little south of Rue. That is at the high school. If you go down that highway down there, it's not going to be that big of a hassle. I learned a little bit more about that this week. They're going to try to get you through as quickly as possible. So if you couldn't get your wristband shipped to you in time, you're going to go pick that up over there. A lot of people who need various forms of credentials are going to have to go over there as well. It's not going to be that big of a deal. They're going to try to move traffic along pretty well. We talked about the times where high traffic is expected. So if you do have to go over to Will Call at the box office or whatever, or at the high school, try to time it in an area where there's not going to be as much traffic. If you're coming in Tuesday, you're probably going to be pretty good. But check those traffic graphs that they put on the Bonnaroo Twitter and try to plan
That's
out.
a good idea,
Plan out what you're going to do. Do you have any other advice on the box office?
I think what you said is great to check the traffic maps.
All right. Another thing that people were talking about is sunscreen. I'm glad they're thinking about that because you're going to absolutely need to use that. I don't want anybody getting burnt. I hate getting burnt. That's my most hated thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm like, I hate about Bonnaroo. Like, I slather myself up because I do not want to get burned. So last year, there was the sunscreen tree. Do you remember that?
It was right outside of Bonnaroo, and that's where everyone was ditching their aerosol sunscreen because you cannot bring aerosol inside Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
So go ahead and pack the lotion sunscreen.
Yeah. And let me tell you this. Don't go get it at Target or Publix. It's going to be too expensive over there. Go hit up the dollar store and get it over there. Make sure that it's a good SPF that's going to keep you protected. But that stuff can be way too expensive if you're not.
I'm going to disagree with you on
really?
that.
Well, that's okay.
That stuff doesn't work. Like, this is the one area that I won't buy generic on. I won't buy generic sunscreen.
All right. Well, maybe Charlotte's right. Well, you can take your pick as to whose advice you want to take.
I buy 90% generic products. Sunscreen is the one area I don't skimp on.
Okay. Well, maybe you're right. We've got a couple of bottles already, so we're good. But everybody, please go make sure that you get lotion sunscreen here in the next couple of days. They're not going to let you go in Bonnaroo with it. You can use it out in the camps. That's fine. But there might be another sunscreen tree if they're being strict about the aerosol inside Bonnaroo.
Yes.
And the only big reason that they do that is because it's kind of like an explosive hazard, really. That's what I've heard. I've never seen one explode.
I've never seen that, but
I've
guess
heard
it's
it.
possible.
I mean, whatever. They would disallow it for a reason.
Right.
All right, another question that I saw come up. Can you leave Sunday night?
No, they lock you in. They take
You
your
can't
keys.
ever leave.
They lock the gates.
You live at Bonnaroo
Absolutely
now.
not. Yeah, it's a lock-in.
But no, we're kidding around. Yeah, you can. However, I would probably advise against it. The reason being, everybody is going to stay for all of the Foo Fighters set. There's going to be, a very, very, very small handful of people that will dip out before they're done. But most of everybody that wants to leave Sunday night is going to wait until after the Foos, and it is going to be a traffic jam sandwich out there.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah. So I personally feel like there's a couple of different routes that you can take. You can wait a couple of hours if you live in Nashville or just a couple of hours down the road and you feel like driving late that night if you're not too tired. You can make it, but I would wait. I would wait for traffic to clear out a little bit before you try it.
So something else to consider is this year they have sold the single day passes, where you can come in with your car. And this is the very first year that Bonnaroo has ever sold single day passes like that. So you're going to be competing with that traffic in addition to camping traffic if you try to leave on Sunday night.
It's going to be
so keep that in mind as well. I mean, you can obviously gauge it when you're there, but traffic getting out of there on Sunday night might be difficult.
And I will tell you, I have heard this directly from people in the know at Bonnaroo. They have sold most of the one-day passes for Sunday because, of course, the Foo Fighters, but also Paramore, they're a hot ticket.
Oh, true.
So it's going to be massive on Sunday. That's going to be the highest attended day of any day of Bonnaroo. So you can imagine people are going to want to stay for the Foos. They're going to want to see Paramore. I think they go on before the Foo Fighters, right?
Right. And
it's going to be a mess.
I've seen a lot of questions on Reddit saying, I know that I can't camp with my single day pass. Can I just leave and then pull over at a gas station right in Manchester or a gravel pit or whatever? Blah 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 blah. Be careful about that because there's cops right out there and they're looking to tow and they're looking to get you in trouble. I mean, I don't want to say this, but
well, it's okay.
Let me put it like this: there was a Tennessee official, I don't know, a House of Representatives, whatever. I can't remember.
Some kind of government.
Some government guy in Tennessee that got a DUI after leaving Bonnaroo last year.
Everybody was like, what show did he want to see?
Right. He went, I don't know.
He went to go see Humphreys McGee here this year.
I don't know. I was going to make some joke, but nothing came to mind. But
they'll get anybody, is what she's saying.
He went to the House of Yes.
Oh, that's what he. Oh, okay.
That's what he was there for.
That's what he was there for. The House of Yes.
Anyways, but point to the story is just be careful. Make your plan now. If you haven't already, if you don't already have a plan in place, make your plan now.
Yeah. And Charlotte, since you were talking about cops, I know that's something that stresses people out this time of the year.
It really does.
So I will say this again. I've said this a number of times. When you're coming in, dress like you're going to grandma's after church on Sunday. Don't write anything on your windows, which I know that's ironic given what we're going to be driving there. But don't make it obvious where you're going. There's a lot of advice from lawyers that will be floating around on Reddit. I think there's a festival lawyer that posts every year. There's a graphic that will show you what you should and shouldn't do. You have the right to remain silent. That's not just something that Stabler tells you on SVU. You actually have that right. You don't have to tell them where you're going. You don't have to tell them what you're doing. All you got to do is just tell them your name, be polite, have a little Southern charm. That helps a lot with these good old boys around here when they're cops,
There is, I haven't seen the one that's the festival lawyer. I haven't seen him post in a couple of years, but there's a really fantastic one on there, and it's like ROOESQ Junior, Rue Esquire Jr. or whatever. And he posts, and he just posted a while back, and he has some really, really fantastic advice as far as what to do. And actually, when you go to Bonnaroo, you'll see stickers up everywhere for like local attorneys and what to do. If you do find yourself in a sticky situation, and hopefully that doesn't happen to you, but just something to keep in mind. I know the very first year, it's the first or second year that we went to Bonnaroo. We passed the Jack Daniel's distillery, and it was like about a mile or two past that. We saw a whole group pulled over, and sure enough, they had Bonnaroo wrote all over their car windows. And so just don't do anything like that. Just keep minimal, always drive the speed limit. Don't do anything to attract any attention to your vehicle whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to keep it looking like a grandma vehicle as much as possible.
A Buick?
If you got a Buick, be driving that Buick to Bonnaroo.
Couple little tips I'll give you. Like Tennessee state troopers will pull you over for looking at them funny. So take off any frames that are on your car tag. Take off anything that's hanging from your rear view mirror. Make sure that you have a clear view, that your view out the back window isn't blocked. Don't be holding your phone. They will get you for that these days. Have whoever else in the car with you, replying to texts or changing the music or anything like that. Make sure that you aren't swerving around or anything like that. Put it on cruise control. Keep it steady. If you kind of keep your wits about you, you're not going to have to really worry about anything. If you're not giving them any obvious reason, they're going to look for somebody else to pull over. If you do get pulled over, keep calm. Just be polite. Have a little Southern charm, and you're going to be all right. Another thing that people worry about also is getting pulled over in the security line. Mm-hmm. Most likely, it is not going to happen to you. But I will say this. That's another reason that I recommend dressing like you're going to grandma's on Sunday. They'll swear up and down that they don't profile, but they do. So if you come in looking like a wook, the statistically likelihood that you're going to be pulled over is much higher, right?
Right, exactly. I mean, absolutely dress like you're...
We're going to revival.
Right.
I mean, we kind of are.
If your grandma invited you to attend her Church of Christ where all they use is a tuning fork, please dress like you would go there and go, woo.
Yeah, and you're going to Aunt Lurlene's to a fish fry after.
Exactly. Yeah. Dress like you would hear, woo. Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Yeah.
Oh, I think
like
Mumford & Sons does that number.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, dress like you would go hear that.
Yeah.
And you'll be golden.
Okay, yeah, good
And
advice.
then go to Aunt Lurlene's for the fish fry.
Yeah. And you're going to read stuff on Reddit and Discord and Twitter, like when things open up. I lovingly call them wookspiracies. You're going to hear all these crazy stories about something that happened to somebody in Kentucky or something stupid that happened in line. Don't take those too seriously. They are wookspiracies. Those may have happened, but there's such a small fractional percentage of anything that is happening. Don't stress about that.
Take them about 25% seriously.
Okay, that's a good percentage, I guess. That sounds about right. So that's it for this week, I suppose. We're going to have another little thing on Monday. Brooklyn should be over here because she's going to crash here before we leave first thing on Tuesday morning. And by the way, the only big reason that you haven't heard her on here recently is she's been working the night shift over at Straight to L at Campus 805. She has been wanting to be on, and I've been trying to get her on, but we just haven't been able to get the scheduling to work right. She has a lot that she wants to talk with you guys about. But we'll have her back on Monday. We're going to do a short episode. Just a lot of random stuff with no real agenda on Monday so we can get it out the door so you can have something to listen to where you're on the way there. Hopefully, if there is good Wi-Fi at our plaza, we hope to upload the live from Bonnaroo episode that we're going to record on Tuesday. If you're going to be there early on Tuesday, come over at 7 o'clock. So that'll be after most of our DJs have played. I think it's just going to be a short thing for a half hour. We want to talk about, kind of the do's and don'ts and introduce a lot of the rookies to traditions and things like that. So bring them out. Please show up even if you aren't a rookie because we'd love to see you there. And I think we'll have some surprise stuff that isn't necessarily on the schedule right after that. We'll get you out of there in time to go see DJ Mel at Where in the Woods, though. Anything else for this week, Charlotte?
Do you have anything else for this week?
Yeah, here we go with this. Yeah. All right. So, one more time before we hit the road. Y'all, this has been fun this past year. This has been a great off season, so to speak. I'm going to tell you, I had a tweet that went kind of viral today. I'm really feeling in the air that this is going to be a really special Bonnaroo this year. There's just so many things that are, looking really good. It's going to be a packed house. We've got a very good lineup, and there's just kind of a good vibe on like all the online activity right now. I'm just feeling something really special about this year. We got less than a week until we're there. How do you feel about it, Charlotte?
So I'm the Reddit moderator for Bonnaroo. I'm running a group camp for Bonnaroo. I'm running all this Rubus stuff. Have I taken on too much?
I think you have. I've been watching you work way too hard the past week or so.
I haven't taken on enough.
No, I'm going to cut you off. I think we've got enough.
Cut me off. This is my drugs.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you remember? That was the silly video that we took inside the bus a couple of years ago. I'm not advocating or anything. It was just a dumb joke. But our buddy Brandon, He was like, "You don't know me. I do drugs." And he's going to be there. So if you run into Brandon, tell him that just to troll him. It'd be really funny. All right. So one more episode before we get out of here. And the rest of them are going to be live ones from the farm. All right. We'll see you guys on Monday. This weekend, get your packing in. Go hydrate.
We'll see him on Tuesday.
We'll see you. Well, yeah, we'll see you in person on Tuesday, hopefully. But I'm saying we'll have another episode on Monday.
Well,
yeah. We'll get around. We'll see them in person next week. I can't wait to see everybody. But yeah, this weekend, go hydrate, finish up your packing, but also get out there and radiate positivity. We'll see you next week.
Bye.